Behind this tiny but mighty curved beak is a world of power, a story of strength, precision, personality, and surprisingly complex communication. Your Budgie's beak isn't just for eating, it's a multi-tool of survival, a built-in toolkit that cracks seeds, climbs, grooms, plays, shares affection, and even speaks in its own language. Don't let its size fool you. A Budgie's beak can deliver up to 4 pounds of pressure in a single bite. That's enough to split seeds, draw blood, and send a clear message to anyone who crosses the line. For a bird that fits in your hand, that kind of power is shocking. Today, we're diving deep into the amazing anatomy and hidden functions of your Budgie's beak, the behaviors, surprises, and even the danger of your Budgie's beak, and why it's one of the most misunderstood parts of their body. In order to understand the power and importance of the parakeet's beak, we have to start with the basics, which is the anatomy of the beak. The beak is made of 2 main parts: the upper mandible, which is fused to the skull but able to flex slightly thanks to a hinged joint, and the lower mandible, which moves up and down like a jaw to snap, nibble, and grind, just like us. With that being said, the beak is not bone on the outside. What gives it its shine and color? It's keratin, the same stuff that makes up our fingernails and hair. This outer shell, called the rhamphotheca, it never stops growing, just like our fingernails. A Budgie's beak grows continuously about 2 to 3 millimeters per month, and it gets worn down naturally through eating and chewing, which means without natural wear from chewing toys, wood, or cuddle bone, it can overgrow dangerously, making eating or preening painful or even impossible. That's why you have to provide your parakeet with chewing toys and natural branches, which we did talk about that in a video. I'll keep a link for that video in the description if you want to see how to make or put in your Budgie's cage a natural perches that are safe and can let them chew on them. Right above the beak, you'll notice a waxy looking area called the cere. This soft, fleshy part contains the nostrils. It's a hormone sensitive area that actually changes color with maturity, health, and interestingly, sex identification in Budgies. I did already explain that in a detailed video about how to identify your Budgie's gender, which I'll keep a link in the description for that video. But for now, let's concentrate on the beak and its true power and function. Now that you know what it's made of, let's talk about what it can do. First, let's start with an obvious one. The beak is used for eating and cracking seeds. The beak is designed to crack open seeds with laser-like precision. If you take a closer look on how they eat, they don't just bite. They roll, shell, sort, and spit out husks. It's like watching a chef work with tweezers. Second, they use their beak for climbing and balancing. Have you ever noticed your Budgie using its beak to grip cage bars or climb toys? That's because the beak is a very powerful tool. It is like a third foot, helping with balance, coordination, and exploration. Watch closely and you'll see them grip cage bars or perch edges with their beak before they even move a foot. Number 3. They use their beak as a grooming and preening tool. Budgies use their beaks like a tiny combs. They clean their feathers, apply preen oil, and even help other flock members groom, which is a deep bonding behavior. We did talk about the preening process and its benefits in a detailed video, which I'll keep a link in the description below if you are interested to know more about that subject. 4. They use their beak as a social communicator. That gentle tapping, it's not random. It can mean curiosity, playfulness, or even little flirtation during courtship. And that soft rhythmic grinding sound at night, that's your budgie telling you, I feel safe, I feel calm, I'm home. It's the closest thing to Budgie's version of purring. Number 5. You can see them using their beak for light nibbles or kisses, if you will. When your budgie gently nibbles your finger or lips, it's often a sign of affection or curiosity, not aggression. Just like human toddlers, they explore with their mouths. And finally, the 6th point, it's obvious one but important. They use their beak for defense and aggression. While budgies are gentle by nature, their beaks can be used for defense when they feel threatened or territorial. A sharp peck or bite is often a last resort, a way to say back off when all other warnings were ignored. You might see this during disputes over food, space, or even jealousy between cage mates. It's important to recognize the difference between a defensive nip and a playful nibble, because budgies do have boundaries, and the beak is their way of setting them. Think of it not just as a weapon, but as a warning system. Now that we understand what their beak is made of and what is it used for, here are some common behaviors that many people misread. Beak rubbing on perches or cage bars. When you see that, don't get worried, that's fine. They're just cleaning their beak and it's totally normal. Grinding their beak at night. That's actually a good sign. We already talked about that in the video about signs of a happy budgie. I'll keep a link in the description for that video in case you missed it. And it means they feel safe and sleepy. Tapping the mirror might be flirting or arguing with their reflection rival. This is a very sensitive subject, and I did make a full video on mirrors and whether it's okay to keep mirrors in your budgie's cage. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend you to go and watch it. I'll keep a link in the description for that video. Now, let's talk about when to worry. The beak is a health bar. Here's when it might signal trouble. Overgrown beak. This is often due to poor diet or liver disease. It usually needs vet trimming. I suggest to visit your vet and not try it yourself. Flaky or peeling beak. That may indicate malnutrition or lack of vitamin A. Crusty cere. In males, this could be mites. In females, it might mean hormonal imbalance. A vet can confirm that. Bleeding or cracking. This could result from injury or serious infection. Get it checked immediately. Catching signs early can save lives and a lot of vet bills. So next time your budgie taps, grinds, or nibbles with that tiny beak, remember it's not just a tool, it's a whole language. And behind every action is a message they're trying to send you. What's the funniest or cutest thing your budgie has ever done with their beak? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Want to support Budgie World and get cute perks? Hit the join button, it means a lot and helps keep the videos flying.